A few years ago, I had done a monologue, or I was in conversation with somebody where we had calculated that Saudi Arabia needed the crude price per barrel to be around $75 for it to be able to meet all its obligations. Obligations? You might ask. Well, there are many obligations. At that time, I had counted about 15,000 princes and princesses, and they all had a privy purse. Perhaps the number may have gone up now. Maybe it's 20,000. That's one side of the expense. Not only that, the people of Saudi Arabia, the citizens of Saudi Arabia enjoy a lot of subsidies, and that was another huge chunk. So that was many years ago. What is the number today? How much should be the price of crude in order for Saudi Arabia to meet its commitments to its people? And I'm talking about the royalty as well as the citizenry. Well, I have a small infograph, and this makes very interesting reading because the number has gone up and quite a bit. And that would also explain some of the other challenges that Saudi Arabia is going to be facing in the near future. Here we go. Do watch it till the end because I'm going to give you my opinions on what are the options in front of Saudi Arabia. So the number now has gone up between $91 to $111 per barrel of crude. Why? There are two different things here. One is the core budget, that is break even at 91, and I'll tell you what that means. And the other one is the true ambition break even, because Saudi Arabia realizes that it is going to be running out of oil very soon, so they need to diversify. Ergo, they've been buying sports franchise teams, and I would not be surprised. Anyway, let me keep that thing to the end. So the core budget break even is the traditional price that the International Monetary Fund has forecast that Saudi Arabia needs to balance the core government budget. It ensures all standard pre-approved spending is covered without accumulating new debt. So this is $90.94 per barrel of crude. You know that Saudi Arabia commands like $2 to $3 a barrel because its crude is supposed to be sweeter and therefore easier to refine. So just think about it. Today, the price of a barrel of crude is at $60.47. You can ask me, oh, WTI is more, this is less, and so on and so forth. Just you get the idea, right? $60, where is $90? So already, just to meet the bare bones requirements of its people, Saudi Arabia is falling short by $30 per barrel. Now, if it were to implement all the things that it would like to implement, that would be actually $111 per barrel. And what are these $111, that difference of $21 going to get? I'll tell you all those things in just a moment. This number has been computed by Bloomberg, and this represents the true cost of Saudi Arabia's full economic plan. It includes the core budget plus the massive capital outlays of the Public Investment Fund. Which are the ones? They have something called as a Vision 2030 document. First thing they wanted to do was to build a city called NEOM, a futuristic city and economic zone, and the 𝗟𝗏𝗄 project, a luxury tourism and wellness destination. And there are many other Vision 2030 initiatives such as investing in entertainment, technology, and more, and sports too, right? So NEOM, the development has been stalled, it has been put on hold. I don't think 𝗟𝗏𝗄 project is moving forward either. And as far as investing in entertainment, technology, and so on, I would not be surprised if Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, starts looking away from IPL or trying to own the IPL. This is what I think. I could be horribly wrong, of course, because it could be that Saudi Arabia thinks, oh, this is a good investment. I don't think so. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. So the gap between core budget and comprehensive price highlights the significant cost of funding Vision 2030. And this is shown in the form of a bar chart. You can see the difference is about $21. The final takeaway is just to maintain its current social structure and subsidies, Saudi Arabia needs oil to be over $91 per barrel. However, in order to build its future, it needs it to be at $111 per barrel. If oil prices fall below these levels, the government faces a choice: cut spending, delay projects, or draw down its substantial foreign financial reserves. So let's take first one, cut spending. Do you think anybody who's been raised on doing nothing and getting a monthly paycheck is going to let go? they are going to be up in revolt. So that's not an option. So you have to continue spending. You cannot cut spending. Second one is delay projects that they are already doing. They've already started delaying NEOM and so on. I heard they've spent billions into that already. And third thing is they may have to draw down their substantial foreign financial reserves. What does that mean? That means they will start selling the US treasuries. That's not a good thing for the United States. Will United States say, okay, you can draw down your stuff from our treasuries? It's a question. I mean, I'm not saying that it's yes or a no. That is one option. But long and short of it is, I think Saudi Arabia is in a bit of a pickle. They don't have the money to do all this Wahhabization of the rest of the world. And I think when they find out that they don't have money to give to their own Wahhabi community, who in turn sprinkle it all over the world, then the Wahhabi community is probably going to turn on the royalty in Saudi Arabia itself. This is exactly like what Hillary Clinton had said. You cannot rear snakes in your backyard and hope that they will only bite your neighbor. So this situation is going to come to Saudi Arabia. How Saudi Arabia is going to get out of this is going to be a problem, a challenge for MBS, and I think India might be willing to help out. But let's take a look at what are the things that make up the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's armed forces. Do you know that much of the rank and file in the armed forces of Saudi Arabia is provided by Pakistan? Do you think they are going to let go of that and then say, okay, now Indian soldiers can come and make up the rank and file? I don't think India will agree, but that's a different matter. So you have this other problem also. That means if the army is comprising of Sunnis, what happens if there are people in Saudi Arabia, there are Shias there, they go up in revolt? Maybe the Sunnis would be used to put them down. But what about the Wahhabis? Wahhabis are also a radical form of Sunnis. What happens then? Which side will the rank and file of the Saudi Arabia army go? Huge problems. I tell you, MBS has a lot of problems, and to harbor ambitions of continuing to keep trouble fomenting here, there, everywhere, I think that's a pipe dream. They need to really start buckling down and start looking away. Also, I think that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia may not invest in the IPL for the simple reason that Mumbai Indians and Jeddah Indians may not gel together. Today, India is very conscious of what is happening to the majority population there, and to have a popular concept of IPL being run out of Jeddah with Muslim names is not something the people who watch the game in India may like. In other words, the viewership may just plummet, and if the viewership plummets, ad revenues plummet, but you have to still pay money to all the players. So I see nothing but problems for Saudi Arabia. So let's wait and see how this plays out. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.